I would say the hospital scene was probably the worst for me, 'cause I'm just like, oh my God, reliving this. And the actors did such a great job, on the day of filming. You couldn't even talk to the actors because they were so focused. They act like they lost a friend in there, for real. Jason's right here. He's still here, but the way they acted and the way the scene came off, it was just so. It's just like, wow. I had to share a couple of tears. I know that because I've seen it a couple of times. And I'm just like, wow. That was the hardest part for me, was that hospital.
Yeah, I mean, and putting the movie together, me and Gary, we was editing this movie, back and forth a lot, and I would find myself, putting the movie together like, whoa, tearing up, welling up, and the hospital scene was real rough for me. Even shooting it, we had to walk out a few times.
Thank you. First of all, that really feels good to know I hit the mark. But, it was all in the grand scheme of Mr. F. Gary Gray right here, because I remember that week, they actually called it the Eazy Week, and it was the week before last, of shooting. And by that time, we had built up a brotherhood that felt like, like when they saw me, they didn't see Eazy-E. They was seeing Jason in the bed like, what are you doing, son? You can't die. What's happening? And it was... I remember you could just cut it with a knife. It was so thick, and everybody was so quiet. And, even if I tried to talk to people, they're like, no, we get it. You need a break. We understand.
Right.
And I'm just like, man, it feels good to know that, I can have that creative module, to be able to really show, what I have. This is like going to change my life forever,
That was an amazing moment for the cast. Because, we really set out to make sure there was an organic bond in rehearsals, that I wanted them to build a friendship, and they did. So when we shot that scene, I remember when Neil, who plays Yella, saw him in bed, he literally could not shoot part of the scene. He had to go in the other room because he couldn't see Jason there laying like that, because the performance was so good and so realistic that it really affected him emotionally. And part of the reason why we picked Jason was because of his background. He had heart and street credibility, and I knew that one of the moments, I knew when he performed that scene, he tapped into his experiences on the street for real. It wasn't a thespian moment. He tapped into some of the experiences he actually had in real life, and that's the reason why that moment was so emotional for all of us. I cried when he did it, because I couldn't see my friend in that much pain, and that's again the reason why I think the performances are outstanding, because they tapped into what's real, and we created something that was very real for them to access when they performed.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, as men, we don't really do that very often. You know what I mean? We don't hold each other and be like, oh, this is what we're going through, cry right here. And we don't do that. We don't do that for each other. But Gary was asking me like, you need anything? Because he had me in the trailer like, bro, I can't really take your word for this part right now. You're going to have to show me something. You're going to have to crack a tear. Let me know where you're going to go with it. You got to give me some type of... And I'm like, as long as I feel emotionally safe to be able to let go, I'm going to let go. I got so much to cry about. You know what I mean? Like, I lost friends shooting the movie. They called me 5:30 in the morning like, man, they done got Dale. People getting killed, people going to jail. And I'm like, wow. And I'm being supported through all this. And I'm like, I'm supposed to be living the dream, And then I get this amazing opportunity to just let go. And I'm like, trust me, G, I got some stuff to cry about. Don't even trip. And by the end of it, he had to come get me because I'm like, look, I can't stop it. Yeah, so I appreciate it. And I'm glad I hit the mark, Thank y'all. I appreciate that. For real.